hello! Each day brings a new ray of hope. So forget the failures of yesterday and start a new beginning from today.
Yeah.
That's a reminder that I really want you to really learn. Okay, hello, and welcome to the listeners and viewers who are currently tuning in for our today's podcast. I am your host, Jules Tegihanon, and welcome to the pod. Okay? So right now I would like you to really know the guest of our today's podcast. Okay? So let's start. Let's start for the guest. Okay? So please welcome the one and only, the fabulous one, the majestic, the fantastic, and somehow really attractive. Please welcome Mr. Roniel Saliwan.
Thank you, Miss Jules, for that wonderful compliment. Hello, guys. My name is Sonyal V. Saliwan, and I'm excited for what we'll discuss today. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Okay, next. The artistic one. The humble one. But hindi natin sure. Mr. John Gabriel Bernardez.
Okay, thank you, Jules Tegehanon, for introducing me to the podcast. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I'm really excited from what are we gonna talk about today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for also inviting and attending our podcast today. So, last but not the least, we really need to stay quiet for this one. Okay, so she is the always quiet, but somehow always gutom. Pero she's really madaldal in chat, and somehow she really pertains himself as a positive person. Please welcome our Madam Reginald Bautista.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm so excited on what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so thank you for the guests who are attended our podcast. Okay, so let's start and quickly slowly going right to our main topic, our discussion proper. So right now, guys, I just want you to really know that we would like to discuss something that is very relevant and timely nowadays. So our first question: why should we discuss social issues? Okay, so let's start with Mr. Bernardez. Why should we discuss it?
Um, okay. I think social issues are like it is a serious matter. So you know what? A serious matter needs to be talked about, and these kinds of things they need to be talked about because to find a solution for them. Yeah, that's all I think.
Okay, what about you, Mr. Saliman? Do you have any comments or insights about it?
I think, yeah, why not? I think we should talk about social issues because here in the Philippines, it's actually a kind of a big deal. I think not just in the Philippines, also in the world. I think we should like talk to this. We need to share our opinions and thoughts about this so we can find our like solutions, and I get some ideas on how we can get more ideas on how it is getting out of hand in the Philippines. That's all.
Okay, so that's a
Yeah.
good insight. What about you, Miss Reginald or Madam?
Yeah, we need to discuss social issues because this could also help to build our awareness and increase our thinking about understanding the problem. Here we can also know the cause and the effect and how to prevent it or what will be the solution for the problem.
You know what? All of your answers about this question is really true because an issue is really a problem, and we really need to talk about the social problems. And I really do believe that all of your answers is really correct, and I've came up to the conclusion that discussions eventually really can lead to action. Okay, so I am really happy, I'm sorry, that you really know how we really need to act on social issues. But we really need to move on and really to take action about it. Okay, so my next question would be, what are your top five major social problems and what are your personal thoughts about them? So you really need to rank them. Okay, who is the one really wanting to talk already?
I think I should go first.
Okay, go
One
ahead.
of them, one of them higher, ano, upper, lower to, ano.
Major social problems and what are your personal thoughts about them?
I think I should go first. I think it's actually kind of big deal in the Philippines. It's poverty. It's because poverty is defined as a situation which is a family basic needs, just like shelter, food, and clothing. And I think I should go with the education too.
So
You
your
can need
top
to,
five is education.
yeah. And number one is poverty. Number two is education. Number three is equality. Number four is employment. Number five is voting rights.
Okay, so what are your personal thoughts about them? Why did you rank them like that?
Because I think I should go with number one, which is poverty. It's actually,
Poverty, yes.
yes, poverty is kind of out of hand here in the Philippines and across here. My God, the world too. Because some of them are like hungriness. They can even get a home to go in. So it's actually poverty is like a cause to everything. Yeah. So I think we go. My second one is education because education is a valuable tool that is useful in everyone's life. Because without this, we can't really get to what are we are now today. And I think educations are to all people that who are dedication of what they want to be in their life or if they want to be successful and they have the dedication to do it. So okay, I think I should go with the number three now, which is equality. I think equality is really a big thing because you can I think being like in the other country being racism is a big thing. I think it's getting out of hand too. I think we all deserve equality. You and me, all of us deserve this. So that's
Yes.
my number. And number four is unemployment. My thoughts on this is when we discuss this topic, I always get reminded of our country because in our country, only those who complete their education are eligible on some jobs, or some are applicant in some jobs, and some of them gets a better life because of the jobs. Because this problem is the I think the cause of poverty. Earning money in our country is difficult because the pay like the the money that you get is really really small. It cannot even support your family, and unemployment can have a negative impact on the mental health. Those who are still working, they may become more concerned about their losing their jobs or be hesitant for looking for other jobs because they're like getting unemployed. So my number five now is voting rights. Everyone has to take part in the
Voting
government,
rights.
his or her, because I think we all deserve to have the voting rights. You don't need to tell me who are you gonna vote and I'm not going to tell you who I'm gonna vote. It's just my own personal thing. This is because this is what I want and it can get what you want. So that's my number five thoughts about my social issues that I have. We have.
Okay, so thank you for that. Okay, so let's talk
Okay.
about directly with poverty. Why do Philippines has poverty? Why do you think with that? Because I really do think that poverty also exists because of bigger systems. Because we really do somehow or frequently change our market demand really for skills or labor. So that's why the gap in social safety nets and the high cost of education and health, and because of the systematic discrimination, that's why poverty really exists for all these interlocking reasons, and it is really compounded by the interaction of causes and effects of the environment especially. But do you really even care about the difference between being poor and poverty? What is the difference between poor and poverty?
Um, I think just like I said earlier, poverty is like you don't have food, you don't like have food, clothing, and shelter to get in. I think being becoming poor is like you don't have lack. I think lack of money. I think that's it. I don't know. I want to also hear everyone's opinion about that.
Do you think?
Yeah, same. I also think poverty is where you, as in completely, you don't have anything. Sorry.
Okay.
For me, I think being poor is like you don't have you don't have you don't have enough food, water, you know. For poverty, it's like overall, like the jobs are limited, the resources, like it like basta sakop niya lahat.
Yes.
Yung
It is really
poverty.
broad. Poverty is a broad term for you than poor.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Okay, do you have any comments, Mr.
Yeah, so I'll just continue my answer earlier. Yeah, just like what the two said, um, poverty is where you completely have nothing. Um, Food, water, clothes, like that. While being poor is you have the essentials, but um, you don't
It's not
have
enough.
it like, yeah, not enough. Yeah, that's all.
You know what? I've came up to this book that really says about the difference between being poor and poverty. It is just like this. They said that a person can be called poor when they earn an income that does not fully cover all of their necessities. But they have the money, but it is not, um, can buy or can really fully cover. So that's why they really need to work and work and work. While a person in poverty is someone who is merely trying to survive. Okay, so being poor is just like being poor is in here, while being or experiencing poverty, you are really down here. That's the difference of being poor and being poverty from the book that I've
Like
read.
you're
Yes,
on
because
the rat level, no?
yes,
Yeah.
people in poverty may not even have the very basic necessities in life, just
Mhm.
like food, clothing, shelter. That's the difference of being poor and being poverty that I've read from the book. And how can we prevent poverty? Because poverty is really a huge social issue here in the Philippines. So, can we really raise awareness on how we prevent poverty just to really uplift our audiences, our viewers and listeners? Do you have any, you know, list on how to?
To me, uh, curing poverty is very hard because um, for them to get the essentials, they need to work, they need money, but Even like street sweepers, they can also use that as a job, but it requires education. If that person doesn't have education, then he is complete nothing. Not nothing as in, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Reginald. I think it should start with the school, and education can prevent poverty from like totally spreading throughout the world. I think that is the only cure for poverty.
I would like to share my thoughts too, because like just like I said, I think we can like can cure or we can find our ways on getting poverty. We can get away with poverty. I think it's about the government who have we uh, well have what we have here in the Philippines, because those who can really help us in the government is, I think they should be the one who is helping us. But I do really think there are some people who are like willing to help us. I think those people who are the government is the way how are going to change the country, and how are we gonna find a
True.
way to improve our
That's
country.
right.
That's actually true.
Yes. You know what? I really have a sense of admiration for those who people experiencing poverty. So I think to really prevent poverty for me, I think we really need to put small steps to really put the success that we really need, because I think before we really cure poverty, or each um each or different types of social issues, I think we really need to be educated first. We really need to have a proper education to really know how to improve life. And then after that, as a person who has the learning, you really need to have a skill development. That's the next thing we really need to do to really uplift our own country. And I think after that, after all of the Filipinos has met the expectations on education and skill development, after that, the next step we really need to have is to really improve our own economy. So that's why we really need to
Yes.
start with the development of infrastructures, the growth of agricultural things, so we can really improve our life experiences, and we can live in a world where poverty doesn't exist. you know
Yes.
okay,
Really
so
agree.
what about you, Mr. Bernardes? What are your top 5 naman po?
Well, actually, while Mr. Saliwan is talking, I've listed some social issues in here. Number one is overpopulation. The
Okay.
next is poverty. The
Okay.
third one is unemployment. Next is bullying, and the last one is pollution. So
So what's
I
the number
put
one again?
overpopulation.
Okay, go to your thoughts.
Okay, I rank one overpopulation because as we all know, I think all of us will agree on this. Overpopulation is actually the cause of other social issues like poverty, yes, and unemployment too, and also the pollution. Like every social issues is like rooted from overpopulation. So the second one is poverty. Poverty puts a lot of pressure to a lot of families today. As we said, just like earlier, poverty is like you're like below the rat. You like mas mahirap ka pa sa daga, ganon. The third one is unemployment. Also, unemployment actually drives us insane. It's not just in financial; it's also in our health. Um, Unemployment, like it it what do you call this? it like unveils our true natures, humankind. A lot of crime rates. It's like growing up. It's
Yes.
like growing up now. I think. Number four is bullying. Yeah,
Really.
bullying. Wait. Bullying. I think. Um, okay, it all started in school, and bullying is something that is very serious. Because this bullying it starts in school where like as students go, we are the future of this nation. So like bullying causes us like extreme anxieties, like depressions,
Yeah, trauma.
and like yes, traumas, like a lot of things, very bad things, bad memories caused by bullying. I think naman na na the schools are like they they're having their anti-bullying thing like
Campaigns.
policy. Yes, the campaigns. But I think it's not really enough because some of the bullying still pass through them. Yes.
And
Okay, so
also,
the last is pollution.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, pollution. I put it on last because pollution is something that humankind's made. Like a lot of inventions from today, like from cars, vehicles, factories. It it causes pollutions today.
I think
Yeah,
we should
I
the
think that's it. Yeah.
I think we really need to talk about pollution because pollution is a really abundant thing right now. There
yeah.
are many
Yes.
things that really affect our environment. And you know what? A tip to really prevent pollution is the is to really lessen the things that we really use every day and to really conserve because conserving is a really good way, and I think this is the easiest than everything or different types of social issues.
Yes.
This is the most easiest, but that this is the most hardest to really to really put some effort because we
Yep.
too personally cannot really do our jobs to as a person to really take care of our own environment, and I am guilty with that. you know um Pollution is the easiest thing to really prevent because if we really put or a whole country or the whole world or a whole nation would really put a micro effort, it could really result to a macro effect. You know what? Because if we really put the tiny steps and the tiny solutions and make a bigger one, I think we could really resolve pollution. And you just need to really think futuristically because what can happen to the world or what could we really see to the future if we cannot take care of our own environment right now,
Mm-hmm.
you know
That's our
I
future.
think we should like unite each other to
yes,
get some.
definitely.
Yes, I think we should unite and solve these problems because pollution is like things we are doing. We are the ones who are doing. We are the one who's like destroying our economy. I think we should be the one. We should be the one who's going to solve this. I think we should be the solution on this pollution.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Reginald? What are you gonna say?
Uh, Pollution is, yeah, as you said, is uneasy to solve. It's just in us. It's either we're just going to sit back and relax, or um, just start to to act and like start cleaning like that. Um, there are two future if we did not act up. the future will be, of course, devastating. Like the pollution, all types of pollution will get worse. Um,
Yes.
yeah, it will get worse. But if we um, start cleaning, even just these small parts of it, like cleaning, um, in the future, maybe
We could
the
completely,
pollution,
no, we could completely have a successful
yeah.
depleting pollution.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, after we act up, then the reward will be great. Like um, no more smoke, like less water pollution, diba?
No,
Less
pure
global
water.
warming. Yeah, global warming. That's all.
Yes.
Okay, so
Positive.
let's talk about your top one naman.
Oh,
What's your
my
top
top one
one?
is, yeah, racism.
Oh,
Top two is
racism.
depression. Top three is overpopulation. Number four is pollution, and last is unemployment. So, I chose racism the first because lots of colored people, diba, get uh, discriminated or bullied, like Asians, blacks, Latinos,
Yeah.
all of that get hateful comments, mostly from from white people.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then the next is depression or suicide. It also has a little bit of no, not little bit. It has a connection to racism. Um, I chose this to be my second because it is also a serious problem that people face, and um, um, all this others get bullied. Yes, with many reasons, but sometimes because of their color, their culture, and those bullying could lead to depression. Then, if not treated, like when those feelings didn't get said or released, it could lead to suicide. And then for my top three is overpopulation. Um, here occurs it occurs when people or teens don't practice safe sex, or
We
when
just
they
really
didn't.
need to be, we just really need to be frank and
Yeah,
really be open-minded about the things that really is happening, because if we cannot start now, w- when we can start,
yeah,
maybe the
true.
world will be overpopulated or overabundant.
Yeah, I think we should have awareness on this social problem.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So yeah, if they want to have sex, please be safe and use condom if you don't want anything to get developed, diba? Or the population will get higher and higher and higher, diba? Um, as the overpopulation rise, same goes to pollution, because those babies becomes children, and they could also be they could add up to the people who pollute. Like for example, even these small pollution like plastics, they could do that as a pollution. At then yeah, like as the population goes high, same goes to the pollution. For
Yes.
the unemployment, it also has a connection to the overpopulation, because the companies don't have enough slots for the other people who want to have job, and it's because of overpopulation. Then um, if overpopulation was slowly rising, maybe the pollution and unemployment will not be a thing, but will be a small problem. That's all.
It's
Okay,
so
so we really
wonderful.
need to talk about racism right now, because racism is a really viral thing right now. And I think the racism thing really started about the hashtag Black Lives Matter. Do you know the starting point of that protest or that hashtag?
Yes.
Okay,
George
please tell
Floyd.
us. Okay, who's
That's George
George
Floyd.
Floyd?
That's
Yeah, the one who got suffocated and he was
mm,
screaming. He was screaming that he cannot breathe, and then the cops keeps on pressing on his neck,
yeah.
diba? He could just the
They're
cop
not
could just
listening.
press in his back, but why on the neck, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, that's the starting point of the hashtag Black Lives
Black
Matter.
Lives Matter.
That's why it really became viral on all the social media outputs, you know. And I think that racism is a really bad thing to do, you know, because also racism really tells about inequality, you know. Because I think that if we could have an amazing world, I think that racial discrimination or prejudice, discrimination or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. Because you know what? Beauty standards or the beauty standard is really not a significant thing. The beauty standard really started to the white peoples, or if we really want to be specific, the beauty standard really started on the America. You know what? I've watched this movie that a black girl is speaking with a white man, and the white girl really said to him or bullied the white American. The girl said that, "Oh my god, you really have a dotted face." From that sentence that he said that she said that, "Oh my god, you really have a dotted face." She really meant by the freckles of a white
The
American.
freckles. Mm-hmm.
That's why the old lady. So the old lady is a now white American girl. Okay, so the white American lady really said to him, "Hey, black woman, you cannot really oppress the oppressor." So if you really need to, you know, um, be really specific about it, the oppressor is the whites, okay? And the oppressed citizens are the one that gets bullied. And the woman really said that you cannot bully the um the
The bully.
nation that really started the bully, because the
Yeah.
whites are the really origin of bully. Because especially us Filipinos, we are really being racist because we really Filipinos don't accept our tan skin. You know, many products right here in the Filipino markets that has
Gluta.
a, yes,
Cody.
glutathione,
Yeah.
especially on beauty products, you know. But right now we are slowly getting into loving our own selves, our own nation, our own, you know, origins. And I really love that we are slowly developing as a nation, because we really, you know, even the LGBTQIA plus community, we are not being too prejudiced or discriminating them or us, because I really love the way that LGBTQIA plus community here in the Philippines had a really great, you know, time. And with that the community really love many of the gays, and the gays really help them a lot. So that's why I think the LGBTIQA plus community had a really great bond with the community or the straight community. So that's why it really became a pop, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
from with that, from all of your answers, I really love all of your answers. But from all of the happenings that really happened in the world, you know, my really takeaway on all of your actions is, or your answers would really be, we all really need to be a living testimony. That's the really thing that we really need to um really be mindful in life. Just be a living testimony, because you know what, I believe that it is the most significant difference we can really make, especially on the society. When social issues really arise in our lives, just really have the power, or just get the power to really voice out it, or really address them appropriately. Remember, just always follow your beliefs, and really try to teach and inspire people to really change their bad social behaviors as they move on to life. And I think that despite the negative consequences, social problems really frequently serves important societal functions, because we really need to think that these social problems has a really good effect too. Each and everything that really happen in our life has pros and cons. Even if a social problem is a problem, it really has a good point, because these problems won't happen if we had been a good person, if we had already been developed. I think these things really serves as a lesson in life. So we still have the, the essence to really improve ourselves and have the personal development. That's why I think that the social problems really serves important societal functions. And you know what? Inequality based on social class, race, gender, and other factors is prevalent in today's society. You know what? The only thing I really think that to reduce or eliminate social inequality and create called the inclusive society, or a far-reaching social change, is required, especially in a society which we really need to provide education, skill training, and some job opportunities to really eliminate social problems. And I think to address the problem of unemployment, the government should really provide people with job-oriented action or education and training. We really need to start on training facilities, educational things to really educate the ones who really needs to be educated, because you know what, we really need to find the hole in a black hole, because there are some
Mhm.
of the solutions that our society really needs and really requires to us persons to really release our own potential to really find the solutions. In this case, it is very reasonable to really conclude that social issues are problems that really affects people's lives, especially us as students, um, individuals and organizations alike really benefit from problem solving. So all of us really need to know how to really proper problem solved, and because it really allows us to really exert the control over our surroundings. And you know what? Just really be mindful about problem solving. Problem solving really provides a mechanism for identifying these issues and determining why they are broken. The
Mm.
only thing we really need to really have a problem solving, or to start the goals that we really need to accomplish in life, just devise a plan. We really need to have a plan in life to really address the things that we really need to address, because if we cannot address those things, what would happen in the world, what would happen in our earth? you know just really be mindful about discussing problems with others, because it can really help with both of us who is really communicating about the issue. Because the more people thinking about solutions, the more solutions you or we
I
can
agree with
design.
that.
you know that's really
Very
true.
true.
And
Yeah,
if
that's
there are
very
more
true.
people really making a discussion, we can have many things, or many humans to really work and put actions effectively. Because with that, as much as cooperation as possible, just really think that when we are sharing things and solutions for problems during a discussion. More people learn how to describe and solve problems. More people learn what problems are. And more people learn how to take action toward a solution by example. So that's why I really want you to know that discussion really eventually can lead into action. Okay, so thank you for that smooth discussion. Okay, so that would be the last for today's podcast or for tonight's podcast. Thank you for Mr. Saliwan, Mr. Bernardes, and Madam Reginald Bautista for this podcast. I really love to talk about you with this. I really loved it, because all of you has a great speaking skills, and all of you had a great conversation or great opinions about social issues. So that would be all. Thank you for listeners and viewers who had been watch our current podcast for tonight. That would be all, and thank you everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
It's 5:50 something, and I feel so empty inside.